let's talk quickly about pain versus pleasure. So this is an interesting topic, and this is something, again, that I got from Tony Robbins, and I got it from one of his video packs. And he talks about how we as humans, we like to, we avoid pain more than we go towards pleasure. So you have to always keep that in mind when you're trying to do something. We avoid pain more than we go towards pleasure. So I'm going to explain that and get deeper into it now. So I'll give you one example right off the bat. This is for the single guys watching this channel. So let's say you're a single guy, right? And you see like a beautiful girl walking down the street, and I would say like 99.97% of guys will notice that she's beautiful and then not ever say anything to her. They won't even talk to her, right? So why don't they talk to her? It's because they don't want the pain of rejection, right? So, but think about this logically, okay? Think about this logically. If you go and talk to that beautiful girl, let's say 99% of the time, let's just make things simple here. Let's say 99% of the time she tells you to fuck off and slaps you in your face, okay? And then 1% of the time, it blossoms into something and you guys have a strong connection, okay? So logically, if you approach her, 1% of the time it's gonna blossom into something. Let's say this is the worst case scenario. 1% of the time it's gonna blossom into something special, and then 99% of the time she's gonna tell you fuck off. So you have a 1% success rate. If you don't approach her, you have a 0% success rate. So why don't we approach her logically? Why don't we do that? Let's say, for example, it's because we are avoiding pain. Because we would prefer avoiding pain than to go after pleasure. Okay, so we'll do anything as humans, like we'll do anything to protect our identity and what we believe about ourselves. Like we don't want to go up to someone and get rejected. Like we try to avoid that as humans. So once we know that though, that we're wired that way to avoid pain, we can use that to our advantage. Now I'm going to explain to you how you can do that. I'm going to give you one really quick example. Let's say you're an overweight guy or a girl, super overweight. Most people, they're driven to lose weight based on this, based on pleasure, because I'll tell you why. Let's say you have somebody that's like 300 pounds, or if you do kilos, let's say it's like 150, 140, 150 kilos. Somebody's really overweight, okay? And they think to themselves, I want to lose weight because I want to be in shape, okay? That's the pleasure. I want to be in shape. So that can only take you so far, okay? Because like I said, we avoid pain more than we want to gain pleasure. So what does that mean? So how should they do it? How should they do it? If that's not a good strategy, if that's not the best strategy to losing weight, is to think about that perfect body and go towards that, because that's the pleasure you're focusing on. So how do we do it? Somebody guess. Like if you can guess it right before I actually say it, I will give you a lot of credit, okay? So, I mean, it should be somewhat obvious at this point, but I want to see like who's going to actually guess it correctly at this point before actually I tell you. So how do they do that? How do they use this pain versus pleasure thing to their advantage here in this scenario? So you have to tell yourself that you cannot stand being fat, okay? That you can't stand the sight of yourself being fat. You have to associate so much pain with being a fat asshole that it drives you to change. You're gonna change because you're tired of feeling the pain, okay? Not because you're looking to get that perfect body. It's because you're trying to run away from the pain of being fat, okay? So you have to associate that inside your mind. So I had a friend, I'm not gonna say his name, okay? Like I'm not gonna say his name for the video's purpose, but This guy he's been struggling with his weights for a majority of his life, okay? And he went to a theme park one day, to like an adventure park with roller coasters, right? It was like a Six Flags or something. And he tried to get on a ride, and they told him, you're too big to get on the ride, in front of other people. Like, other people saw this too. And that's when he actually started to make a change and lose a lot of weight, is because he felt so much pain. He's like, I can't even believe it. I couldn't even get on a fucking roller coaster. He felt so much pain from that he had to change and lose weight. See, if he was only focused on like, oh, I want to have like a six-pack abs and a good body, that can only take you so far. You need to be running away from pain. So if you want to change something in your life, let's say, for example, I'll use poker for an example because I love doing that. If you want to make money and like be a success in poker and like play a lot of hours, don't focus on getting rich and like how getting rich is going to be so wonderful for you. It might be, but that's not enough. You need to absolutely hate the fact that you're broke right now and that you're just not good at poker. Let's say, for example, you need to get to a point where you just can't stand it. You cannot stand it, and it's so painful being broke that you'll do anything to change that, right? So always get yourself to this pain if you really want to make a strong shift in your life. If you want to change something, get to the point where you're like, I don't tolerate this anymore. Like, I need to feel more pain. And this is not just for these two examples. These are just two out of many, many examples I can give. And I'm not gonna run this video down with a billion examples, but this is how it works. Like, people change when they feel so much pain that they're forced to change because they can't stand their current circumstances, okay? That's what it is. And I see it all the time. Like, when I see a huge change in somebody, like a huge shift, like a life transformation or like a big decision that was made, I already know this person felt so much pain that they had to change because they could not stand their circumstances anymore. And this could be self-inflicted pain. You can self-inflict this pain. Like, remember, I used to watch Elliot Hulse. He talks about this all the time. He's like, throw yourself into the fire. Give yourself pain. Like, let's say, for example, if you're broke, I gave this advice to one of my friends, actually. He asked me, Jack, he's like, I have no motivation to play long hours of poker. Like, I want to make money, but like, I don't have any motivation and I don't know what to do. I said, you need to put a lot of pain into your life. You need to be so fucking miserable being broke. I told him, he never took my advice, but if he did, he'd be really happy. So what I told him was, go to the slums and rent an apartment for like $200 a month, living like fucking shit. Don't even buy a TV in your house. Don't have a TV. Don't even have a fucking couch you can sit on. Just a computer chair and a grind station. I will guarantee you, if you put yourself into those kind of circumstances, you will perform with your back against the wall. You will step up, because you're like, the reason why you haven't changed yet is because you haven't felt enough pain. You need to really be in a position where like you're not comfortable at all. Like, it needs to be to the point where like you have to change. There's nothing else, because you can't stand your current life circumstances or the way you are at that point. And that's how you change, is really starts feeling that pain of staying the same, to be honest. And forget about the pleasure. A lot of people were focused on the pleasure. The pleasure is good, but that's not our number one driver. Our number one driver is to avoid pain. And once you realize that, now you're aware that you can use this to your advantage with everything you kind of want to do in your life. Every shift you want to make in your life, you can use this. So let me know what you guys think of this concept, and let me know if there's like a certain area of your life that you're thinking about using this concept on right now that you think would be that you think would work. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any thoughts at all.